This is my Sports Journalism Press 1 by Tabitha Gallen. My first question is, what is IPSO? IPSO stands for the Independent Press Standards Organisation. Here I've provided a definition from the Editor's Codebook of IPSO's responsibilities. I also provided the IPSO logo in the corner. A few things people wonder is, what does IPSO actually do and what is it responsible for? The first thing it does, it makes sure newspapers follow the Editor's Codebook, monitors press standards, provides advice for editors and journalists, and investigates serious standards failing. The second slide is the Editor's Codebook. The Editor's Codebook was introduced in 1991. It is held accounted by IPSO, that's how it's related. I provided two definitions here from the Editor's Codebook, which informs you of the roles it has. Within the Codebook, there are 16 clauses, which I will show you in the next slide. Here are the 16 codes that editors and journalists have to oblige to when writing and producing an article. I critically analysed 4 stories reported in the recent weeks from the Daily Mail. I identified in these sports coverage stories where IPSO regulations have been adhered to and breached. I chose the Daily Mail because it's one of the top best-selling newspapers in the UK and has a long history. One of the main reasons why I chose it is because it's regulated by IPSO. The first article I chose was published on March the 1st, referring to Andrew Borin, who is an ex-Ukraine and Liverpool player. In this article, the journalist tales information from an interview which he had with a German newspaper called Bild. He talks about him and his family fleeing Moscow when Russia started war in his country, which is Ukraine. In this article, I identified if any IPSO codes have been breached. The first one I identified straight away was Clause 2, which is privacy. This refers to everyone respecting their private and family life. The journalist should always check if the image they are going to use is respecting their private and family life and is appropriate. Straight away, I noticed on the front page there is an image of him and his wife. We as readers do not know if the editor or journalist asked to use this image. This could be from a private or public social media account, but the editor might not have received any confirmation which this is appropriate. Reading through the article, there are numerous quotes from him, which no one knows if they are 100% true or accurate. Some of these words could have been twisted to be more enticing for the readers and get more noticed. Here is one of the rules of accuracy from the IPSO regulation website. Coming back to Clause 2, which is privacy, the article does refer to his family, but the journalist does oblige to this because it respects the family, as a journalist does not name any of the family. And Clause 6, which is children, it does not name any of the children, as they probably are all under 16 years old. The second article I found is based on the Russian captain who spoke about the invasion of Ukraine, with Mykolenko and Yermolenko has blasted Dzyuba on social media. The first clause I found was Clause 12, which is discrimination. In the article, there are multiple quotes from other players calling the Russians swear words and really inappropriate comments. This is a discrimination towards their country and the players themselves. The second clause I found was Clause 2, privacy. The journalist brought up a sex tape of Dzyuba's, which happened in 2020. The editor brought this topic up again, which the Russian captain might have not said this was okay, but we could argue that this has been brought up in the press before. This third clause I found was accuracy. On the other hand, the journalist applied this clause 1, which is accuracy. It provided multiple quotes from the players, and to back this up, it had a video of all the quotes written in the article in this video, which gives the reader evidence. The third article I found is about a 21-year-old football player and a 25-year-old football player who decided to fight for their country. The first clause I found was privacy. There are two photos which the journalist provided of the football player and his girlfriend here. This again could be from a private social media account, which the girlfriend or football player would not be allowed to use, and invasion on the family life and their privacy. The second clause I found was clause 2, which is intrusion into grief or shock. This article might have been produced a bit too soon after the death and might have not reached out to the girlfriend or the footballer's family to ask if this was okay to produce quite soon after the death. And it might have not given the family time to grieve in time with the article production. The last article I found was is about two Brazilian football players, both injured by bombs. The first thing I found was clause 8, which is hospital. The photo of the footballer player is being helped by paramedics here, which is put on Twitter. Again, you could say this is privacy again, but the editor might have not asked the hospital if this was okay, and invasion in his injuries as well. The player did not. The player did was hospitalized, but the photo made it clear that he would have been hospitalized, and the editor did not name who was hospitalized, which is good. Here are the references which I've used in this article. But in conclusion, I found that this day and age, the breaches are still being broken, and it's still a big issue, especially for the Daily Mail. And also another article which breaks these codes a lot is The Sun. Thank you for listening.